Good day everybody, it's your guy here, the unknown, and today I want us to look at something very important. This is the most explosive trading strategy for indices, and it's one of the most easiest trading strategies you'll ever find out there, and one of the strategies that gives you peace, okay? Because I believe trading is all about having free time, having your freedom, okay? This one gives you your freedom because you only trade during the New York session, okay? So we have a couple of criteria that you follow. This is what makes it very fascinating and simple. Okay, the first criteria is to identify trade volume before the session. The second criteria is to wait for the equity opening time, which is 9:30 US time and 3:30 p.m. South African time. However, we will have news some days during the session, so we always wait for the news to trade. And once the news have traded, that's when we can start looking for an opportunity. Okay, we don't chase news candle because we are not gambling. This is a business, remember, okay? And then the third criteria is to identify trap volume during the session. The only way we can identify trap volume during the session is by using chart patterns, okay? Because every time they're trapping at the end, you'll realize that, oh, they've built a chart pattern. Remember, this is something that has been working for the insiders for decades and decades and decades. How do we know? Because for decades and decades and decades, 95% of people have been losing. Even today, they are losing. Even in the near future, they'll still be losing, okay? So guys, we wait for the insiders to actually complete their job. And once they are done, they will give you an evidence candle. This is a big candle that breaks out of the pattern. And we wait for this candle to close. Why? Because the moment they break out of the pattern, that is a trapping pattern with a big candle, it tells you that everybody who fell for the trap is actually trapped, okay? And they're gonna get punished, and that's where you enter and target 50 pips. And I put this 50 pips because 90% of the time it's gonna get hit, okay? There are days when they'll go 60% and come back and close you. Sometimes they'll go 80%, okay? But 50 pips is something you're gonna get most of the time, maybe 90% of the time, okay? But that's not to say it's the limit. I actually shared with you tools to backtest with. Some of the tools are very free. Why? Because when you backtest, you'll get to know trades that you can actually target 100, trades where you can target 150, trades where you can target roughly 200 pips, okay? But you only learn that when you backtest. My job is to share with you things that will happen most of the time, because I know if I start sharing with you trades where you target 100 pips, most of you might like, okay, they might go 80 pips, come back and close you, and you lose and start blaming me. So I'm sharing with you things that will work for you maybe 90% of the time, okay? So if you go and backtest, you will start to identify trades that you will be able to target more than 50 pips, and that's what's going to work for you, okay? That's what's going to grow your account. But I know most of you don't want to backtest. You want the easiest thing. Guys, this is the easiest strategy, but you're not gonna get it until you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it over time, because there's a lot that has to be revealed. Your emotions have to be revealed. Your level of patience in waiting for the pattern has to be revealed, okay? Please go and backtest, okay? Now guys, another thing that is important is to identify what kind of trend you are in. In this playbook, which is in the description below, I've shared with you many different kind of trends, and most of you already have this information. However, most of you have not started putting it into work yet, okay? Please go and master these patterns. These are trends, because most of the time they're going to show up, and when they do, they're going to give you one of the best opportunities, okay? So in this playbook, I'll put everything you need, all the criteria and everything, okay? But if you go into my videos, I have a lot of videos here where I shared all these things with you, okay? I've shared all these things with you, okay? So guys, look at this. This is how I actually view my screen on a daily basis. I told you I'll be looking at all these indices at the same time, and I'll actually be looking for the one that gives me the easiest trade, okay? Because it's not about getting married to a single pair or to a single index. I want the one that gives me the easiest trade on the day, okay? And don't mind gold here. I put it here. Why? Because I want to have 4 screens, okay? So gold actually made it easy by adding another asset here, so that I can have 4 screens. And we'll talk about gold one of the days, okay? Because gold is also an easy asset to trade, very easy, but it follows a different strategy as compared to this one, okay? Look at this, guys. I'm gonna open this one, and that's where we're gonna start looking at the criteria. This is US30, okay? This is US30, okay? And if you look at US30, Let's look at trap volume before the session. Who is trapped? I told you, if the session is opening in the middle, we don't know who is trapped because these guys above could be trapped and the guys below could be trapped. So we don't know who is actually trapped. Therefore, we continue. Okay, because we were unable to identify trap volume, and that's the only criteria we can continue without. The following criteria are a prerequisite for the next one. Okay, so now let's ask ourselves the second question: what kind of trend do you see? There is no trend here. Okay, and I showed you all the trends. They are in my recent videos and in the playbook as well. Okay, so I don't see any kind of a trend here. Okay, so now we go to the session opening. Okay, we wait for the session opening. This is not rocket science. You just wait for the time. However, today we had news at about okay, this is what I'll do. I'd pull this vertical lines here. These are just times. Okay, this will split 30 seconds apart. Okay, this is o'clock, and then this one will be the 1:30. Why? Because I know that at these times, 10 minutes before these times, or 10 minutes after these times, that's where most likely you are gonna get the best opportunity or the evidence candle. Okay, so when I have these times over here, it makes things much more easier for me. So I'm just gonna zoom in here. We had news today, and this is the candle, or this is the news candle. Let me just highlight it right now for quite quick. Okay, this is the news candle. Okay, this is the news candle, and I told you we wait for the news to trade. Why? Because mostly the news are gonna give a very volatile candle. Okay, news can go 100 pips, 150 pips, and remember, if they're going against you, they're gonna hit you with slippage and you're gonna lose very big. Okay, and some people undermine slippage is like an instance whereby they go against you and they are unable to identify your stop loss. Therefore, they can actually hit your stop loss up after 60 pips from the original point where your stop loss was hit. Okay, so that is to say, if roughly you have a stop loss of 40 and they're only able to execute it at 60 pips, that means your stops were hit at 100 pips, and that has gone against you. So that's a big loss. So it's always important to wait for the news to trade. Look at this. This is what they gave. Okay, they gave a beautiful pattern. I told you guys, all the patterns are in my recent videos and all the patterns are in the playbook. Okay, so guys, look at this. This is so easy. Honestly, this is so easy, guys, and most of you already have that playbook, but I see that you don't give yourself time to master what I've written there. Guys, everything I've written in that playbook is important and will show up. Okay, it will show up. It might not show up today, but it will show up, and when it does, it's going to give you a huge opportunity to actually capitalize on. Okay, so look at this. This is a head and a shoulder. This is the news candle, and I know that some of you might have missed this one, but this was the most cleanest evidence candle after the news. Okay, this was the most cleanest candle after the news. Okay, this was the most cleanest candle after the news. However, I still understand that, okay, yes, some of you might have waited, because usually I always say wait 5 minutes for the news to trade. Okay, just that today they showed that it is very early. But again, even if you waited 5 minutes, you can see this is where they gave, so they came down and they pulled back a little bit, and that's where they went down. So this is where I scale in. Okay, this is where I scale in. Most of you who have been following me, you already know that this is where I scale in. Okay, this is where I put in more size. Okay, oh, sorry guys, this is where I put in more size. Okay, I take my first entry here, and when they pull back, because I'm a breakout guy, I wait for them to pull back. Then when they go down again with an engulfing candle, because this is a big candle, when they go down, this shows you that they are leaving, and everybody who went up is trapped. Go up, go up, go up, and then eventually these guys are trapped, and the markets just kept falling and falling and falling. Okay, I told you guys, I told you, there are trades that you can actually target more than 100 pips, 150 pips, but you'll have to put in a lot of work into backtesting to understand this kind of a trend, this kind of trades. Okay, okay, you see this one, 200 pips was something you could have targeted with this trade. And I'm telling you these things because there are trades where I go in heavily. Okay, I go in heavily and target more pips, but it's gonna need you to backtest and understand the trades where you can actually target more pips. Okay, most of the time, yes, they will go 60 pips, come back, they will go 50 pips and come back, but if you actually put in the work into backtesting, you will realize the kind of trades where you can target more. It's just that I'm so reluctant sharing that with you, because most of you don't even want to put in the work. You just want to copy and you think that is trading. Guys, this is a long-term business, and if you really want to make it out of this business, you have to put in time into backtesting, you have to put time into reading, and you have to watch other people's podcasts, okay, other traders podcasts. Preferably, I prefer this old people from US. Like if you read the Market Wizard, those guys, if you follow them, everybody featured on the Market Wizard, that's when you're gonna know a lot about trading. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna leave that to you. Go and back test, and you'll actually be able to see trades where you will be able to target more than 50 pips. Okay, this one, obviously targeting 200 pips was so obvious and clear. Okay, so you see, you risk less for 200 pips. Guys, this is a very big win, but you have to backtest in order to understand that. Okay, okay, so look at this, guys. Again, later, what did they do? Whilst we are still on this one, I want to share this one. I'm not saying this one was a great opportunity because I closed my charts at around 6 p.m, but let's zoom in. Prices broke down heavily. Okay, prices broke down heavily, not only heavily, fast, because the speed is important. Let me share with you this. Look at this. This is where prices break out fast and heavily. Then they creep. This trade is gonna go down, okay? And most likely it's gonna reach here. Yes, of course, there are days when they won't reach here, okay? They will just come a couple of pips shy from this point here. But the thing is, most of the time they are gonna reach this level here, okay? Most of the time they're gonna reach this level here. So if they went up roughly, maybe let's say they fell 350 pips, okay, and then they they creep 200 pips. This obviously gives you a huge opportunity to target 200 pips, but of course you can take some of your positions out as the trade is going down, because some days, yes, they won't come straight to this point, they'll just come a couple of pips shy. Okay, but this is a trade that gives you an opportunity to go in heavily and target bigger or more pips. Okay, so you see, guys, when you backtest and understand trades that you're actually able to target more, it's gonna work for you even in the long term. Okay, I'm sharing 50 pips because I know you guys don't want to put in the work, and I'm not gonna reverse on that one. You guys don't want to put in the work, you just want to copy and paste. Guys, back test. You're not gonna understand this until you back test. You're not gonna know what works for you until you back test and then you journal. You're not gonna find out about your emotions. You're not gonna know about yourself if you don't back test. Most of the people who are losing in the market are losing not because of price behaviors or not because they don't know. They know they have all the information, but the emotions are stronger than what they think. So you have to discover your emotional your emotions. Okay, you have to discover how much of an influence you are to the outcome, and after that you have to work towards solving that problem. You can read Mark Douglas, you can read Trading Psychology 101, you can read that's by Dr. Steinbeck. He works most of the time with this prop firm, with SMB. Okay, you can read Trading Results, you can read The Disciplined Trader, and there is also Trading Psychology for Dummies. There's a lot of books on trading psychology that you can read. Once you've identified that psychology is your major problem. Psychology was once a huge problem for me. Okay, I had to work on it to start being consistent. Most of you are going through that pace, but you don't want to backtest. You only experience that when you come to the markets and you're not even aware of that. Guys, go and backtest, okay? Go and backtest. I've shared with you free tools. So you see, they went all the way up, and I was actually expecting them to come here. That's why I also put this line here. But they only came a couple of pips shy. Okay, a couple of pips shy from this level here. Okay, so they went all the way up to roughly 170, and eventually, okay, they fell roughly 123. So you see, these are trades you can go heavily in. Okay, I was expecting them to come here, but this is the same kind of trend that's on the playbook. Okay, this is a head and shoulder. It's the same pattern that's on the playbook. Okay, and now let's go to Nasdaq. If we go to Nasdaq, because I look at them at the same time, you will see that, okay, for Nasdaq, okay, it's opening in the middle, obviously. No, but we can't identify trap volume. Okay, these guys at the top might be trapped, the guys at below might be trapped. Okay, so we continue. Again, today we had news. Okay, let's see. Any pattern here? No, we don't even have two trend lines. If you go and master the patterns, you'll get to see, okay, there's no pattern. The only thing that's there, we have news. So you actually ask yourself three questions when you come. You come 5 to 10 minutes before the session and you ask yourself three questions. What news do we have? Who is trapped? And then lastly, do I see any type of a trend? Those are the questions you should ask yourself. Okay, so today, yes, I told you I put these lines. These lines help me, okay? I just divide these things into 30 minutes, okay? This is the news candle, okay? This is the news candle, okay? This is the news candle, okay? So you can see, after the news, do we have a pattern? No, I don't see any pattern. Do we have a pattern? No, I don't see any pattern. Okay, do you have a pattern? Let's just zoom in because, guys, we are looking for clean patterns, not any small pattern that goes up and down, up and down. No, we are looking for big patterns, okay? Is this a pattern? Okay, this one, it's not a clean pattern, okay? It's not a clean pattern. Okay, let's see. Is this a clean pattern? For me, it's not a clean pattern because on the day I'm looking for easy for easy patterns. Okay, it looks like, okay, it went up. Okay, it's not a clean pattern. Okay, we skip it and then we keep on putting our lines every 30 minutes. Okay, every 30 minutes we put in our line every 30 minutes. Okay, because we know that roughly 10 minutes before or 10 minutes after these times, that's when we are most likely gonna get our opportunities. Okay, so I just enjoy putting these times over here. Okay, it's only 30 minutes separation. That's what I do. I used to set alerts, but these days I just used this method and it works well for me. Okay, it works very well for me. You see, guys, you see. Okay, and then we start analyzing. Okay, we start analyzing. Let's see. I saw a chart pattern here and that's where I took another trade today. Okay, that's why I took another trade. You see, this is the pattern I saw. And then, okay, look at this. You see, this pattern was so beautiful. And I told you guys, I take the bodies. Here you can see we have bodies, okay? And this is where this pins came and just reached. So it's also safe to put it here because it hits the bodies here, it hits the pin here, and it's here. And I told you guys, look for patterns that have at least 3 touches, or the third touch is the breakout touch, okay? They must go from one extreme all the way to the other extreme, come back to that extreme, go back 3 times, okay, for the pattern to be more reliable. Okay, so you see, they went up 1, they came down 1, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down, and then they started trading. Look at this, guys. Yes, they started creeping like this. Most of the days they are gonna do this. Okay, they do this, okay, most of the time. So the only candle I took was this one. This was the candle I took, and eventually they pulled back and I took another position here. Okay, you see, I took these two positions. And okay, my stops were below because my stops were inside. Okay, my stops were roughly inside 25 pips. Okay, because I use the stops of 15 to 25 pips. You can see this is where my stops were 25 pips. And when I get into a second position, because now the risk is a little bit more, I put my stops under the recent low. So this is where I trailed my stops to. Okay, so I reduced the risk here and eventually I targeted 50 pips. Okay, and let's see, this trade is so beautiful. Okay, so I take my trade and actually move away. Okay, move away from it. So you see, this take a little bit longer, but it went 50 pips. Okay, it went 50 pips. So this is where the 50 pips was actually hit. Okay, so it took some time, but eventually 50 pips was actually hit. Okay, so this is the trade I took. Why? Because I understand that these guys are trapped, and of course they are at a level, and it's still during the session. Okay, and the move happened just within our time. I told you it's going to be 10 minutes before here or 10 minutes after. So this candle fell within 10 minutes before, and this one fell within 10 minutes after. Okay, so this was a beautiful trade for me. So throughout there was no pattern, hence why I stick with US30 throughout the pattern, throughout the session. Okay, how do I get these things? Obviously, I told you I look at these charts at the same time to see which one is giving me an easy one. And again, if you look at S&P, you can see same thing, no trend, no body trap because we are in the middle, and eventually no people trapped, no trend, and of course we had news. Okay, so this is the news candle. I'm not gonna put my lines here. You see the news candle. This is the news candle. Yes, this is the news candle, the green candle that went up. Okay, this is the news candle. And what you do is you identify, do you see a pattern? Do you see a pattern? Let's bring these things back. Okay, somebody can say, oh, but I see a pattern here, I see a pattern here. Okay, okay, you see, does it have three touches? Let's go and count. Okay, one up. Okay, one up, good, and then one down. Okay, good. Okay, and then we're gonna count again, two up. Oh, that's good. One, they came down, up, down, two down. Okay, and then you see this candle, it pulled back and went to the other extreme. This is now what, three up here. Okay, and then why? Because they came down too, and I told you the third one could be the breakout. It's okay. You see, this is three down now. Look at the candle that broke out. It's a huge engulfing candle. It breaks out, and immediately after the breakout, what happens? It rallies all the way down. It rallies all the way down. Take profit hit quite quick, very quick. Okay, you see this one went, you see this one went all the way down to roughly 180 pips. This, you see, almost 200 pips. So guys, your job is to find the cleanest pattern, not just to always keep guessing, could this be the pattern, could this be the pattern? No, your job is to find the cleanest pattern. If it's not clean and so obvious to you, then don't take it. Okay, don't take it. Just compare these indices and take the easiest trade. Sometimes they will be so correlated, as I showed you in my recent videos, but those correlations won't happen every day. Okay, when they are correlated so heavily like they were on Friday, that's when you're also gonna get the easiest trade. When they give you any form of a trend, that's when you're gonna get the easiest trades. Okay, however, if you backtest, you will know the type of trades where you can go in heavily. Okay, you will know the type of trades where you can go in heavily. Okay, again, if we put our lines here, these things happen at usually at the same time every day. All you need is to be patient. Don't force patterns. Okay, wait patiently for the pattern and take the easiest one. Don't try to be smart. Okay, don't try to outsmart the markets. It's not even important because you can't outsmart something you have no control over. Okay, so you see, this is what they do. This is a beautiful trade. Okay, beautiful trade. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about the head and shoulder here. Yes, there is a head and shoulder. Okay, let me show you, guys. These things depend on you. How? Okay, this is where they went down, they made a shoulder, they went down, they made a head, they came down, they made a shoulder. Do you see this? They went down, they came and touched this line, they went down and come and touch this line, they went down and came and touched this line, they break with an evidence candle, they pull back, and then they break again with an evidence candle. This is where I scale in when I'm scaling in. Okay, and boom, they went all the way up, plus 100 pips. Okay, was it a surprise that they went plus 100 pips? No, no. You can see the pattern is 80 pips. Actually, not even 80 pips. But the pattern itself, the head and shoulder itself, is roughly 109 pips. And you expect this pattern to go 50 pips. It's not gonna go 50 pips, it's gonna go more than that. But I want you to backtest to understand these things. Take the patterns that are so obvious and so clean to you. I know this head and shoulder wasn't obvious for many. It's still okay. There are many trades, guys. It's not a matter of always being in a trade. Okay, it's just a matter of taking things that have high probabilities for you. Okay, things that resonate well with you, things that you understand, and in the long term you'll be surprised at how profitable you will be. You see, this is a head and shoulder. Okay, on the level, this is a pattern on the level. Let me repeat this. A pattern that is built on a level is very reliable. I'm repeating, a pattern that's built on a level, it's reliable. And those are patterns I go heavily on. I repeat, patterns built on levels are very powerful, and that's where I go heavily in. I know most of you are not going to listen to this statement. You're going to forget it, okay? It's okay. The moment you decide to maybe multitask, focus on something, then you come back, you see, oh, these things are happening exactly the same way. You start learning them again, then 2 weeks you forgot, you're going to learn something else, you coming back. Guys, that's going to delay you. I told you, focus on one strategy. It doesn't have to be this one. Any strategy that you understand, just cut all the other strategies. Focus on one strategy that is easy for you. It doesn't matter from who you learned it. It doesn't matter what kind of strategy. Just focus on one strategy. You will see how simple this journey is going to be. You won't have analysis paralysis. You'll come to a chart with a fresh mind. You'll see the opportunity, okay? Focus on one strategy, master it very well, okay? Like if you are following this one, you know that you have to master the patterns. You know that you have to start being able to see trade volume. Just give yourself 3 hours in a day. Just go through your charts. I showed you on Dukas Copy. Go and download free data on Dukas Copy. Go maybe 5 years or 10 years back. Try to identify trade volume. Then give yourself time another day. Go all the way back. Try to identify the patterns. Take a screenshot, okay? Have a file of screenshots, okay? And then when you are free, look at those patterns. Try to draw them on a book. Buy a book, a hardcover. Okay, I don't know what you call them, but here in South Africa we call them hardcovers. These black big books, you can buy that book, draw patterns until it gets full. Okay, you can buy something like a drawing pad, draw until you get tired. Okay, look at those patterns, draw them, look at those patterns, draw them, master them. Okay, and that's when you will actually become a master. After you have mastered that, I showed you FX Blue. It's a free backtesting tool. Dukas Copy, you get free data from many years ago. You go back to maybe 3-5 years. You start backtesting from 5 years. Okay, I don't want to get overwhelmed, but if you do that, you will come out very bigger and stronger. Okay, you'll come back bigger and stronger. When you're back testing, don't just speed your chart so that you see the pattern, and then when you see that you skipped it, you pause and reverse. This is the pattern. No, you're not back testing the right way. When you are back testing, you need to do it in real time. Make sure those charts are slow. If a pattern skips you, pass it. Why? Because now you are no longer back testing, you are copying, you are cheating yourself, and you're not going to learn. For me, when I backtest, I want to run charts very slow, each candle printing slow, so that I can actually see these candles when they are happening. Not to say, oh, this is a pattern. By the time you are here, maybe you are here, the chart, by the time you are here, all these things has passed. But now because you are here, you can see this and say, oh, let me pause, I would have bought here. That's not backtesting. Okay, when you're backtesting, you must see this thing. You must see it in real time. When the candle breaks out, you must see it in real time. You must see it in real time. If maybe you accidentally speed your charts and you are here, just pass the day, because you are going to cheat. You're not going to become better if you see things that have already happened. You must see things when they are happening at that moment, because when you come to your live charts, that's how you're going to actually have to see them, or else you're going to lose. So guys, go and back test, okay? Go and listen to podcasts. Go and read Market Wizard. Find an audiobook. Listen to Market Wizard. Listen to other people's podcasts. Buy books, get books, read books, okay? If this is something you really need that bad, you will have to put in a lot of work, okay? I don't think I'm still supposed to be motivating you, because I believe if you are in this business, you really want it so bad. Just back test, even if it's one day, maybe 2 days a day, and then you back test maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour. Guys, that's more than enough, okay? Just make sure you are back testing every day, because when you back test, you are repeating the same thing. Your confidence level is growing, and you eventually gonna get to a point whereby you are just so calm, you wait for the patterns. For me, guys, I don't struggle seeing the patterns. Why? Because I've gone through the struggles already. For me, actually, I just sit patiently, and when the pattern builds up, I just see it like that. Okay, I don't even struggle to see I just see it like that. However, it's something you have to grow into. It's something you have to get experience on. Okay, and you only do that or get the experience through back testing, because that's where you're gonna be repeating the same thing over and over again, discovering your emotions, dealing with them. Unless you do that, guys, it might be hard for you. Actually, I appreciate you. Comment, like, and subscribe.